Welcome to Springdale Today. We've got a great show in line for you, and right off the bat, you're going to see an interview with Chris Stecklein, who's the Executive Director of the Springdale Education Foundation, and Mike McFarland is Board President. Great organization, infant stages, big vision. Watch. Welcome to our segment about the Springdale Educational Foundation, a very new group, really, only the second year of operation. Chris Stecklein, the Executive Director, and Mike McFarland, the President of the Board, are here with us. And Chris, why don't you just tell us a little bit, for there are many in our audience that may not know much about your foundation.
Well, Rick, our foundation exists really to do just a couple things. We're in existence to raise money for student scholarships, our graduates from Springdale that are going on to post-secondary education, and also to raise money for teacher grants, to have a pool of money available to fund those things that fall in the gray area that aren't funded through the district's traditional funding situation, that where teachers usually have to pull out of their pocket, or a project that doesn't get done because there's not money available. And then finally, it's to coordinate all of the business school partnerships through the Partners in Education piece of the foundation.
Now that ought to be the easiest, because that's been going on for a while, right? How many business partners do you have right now?
It's about 150-ish school business partnerships, and they're all over the spectrum. It's everything from, the Methodist Church providing meals for the ALE to one of the banks, one of the Har-ber branches doing a financial literacy piece at Sonora Elementary.
A lot of good things going on there. Okay, Mike, you're very involved in the community in so many things. Why did you choose to get involved with this?
Well, I think Springdale schools are important. I've been involved with Springdale schools and been around it, and I thought this was just a great deal. It's something that Gerald Harp tried to do 15 years ago or so, and Chris kind of revived the idea. We were able to put the Alumni Association in there with it, with the Partners in Ed, and just kind of made it all under one umbrella under Chris's direction. And, I just think there's so many things we can do. Our teachers work so hard for our kids, and they give their time and they give their money, and we just want to augment that. We just want to try to figure out a way that, and I think that's one of our big goals this year, is to raise more grant money. That way we can give back to the teachers, and they're such an important part of our kids' lives.
Chris, in your very first year of existence, you gave several teacher grants. Give us an example of a way you helped a teacher in the classroom with a grant.
Well, we wanted to look at those projects that really kind of fell outside the norm. And so we funded, we raised $20,000 through a payroll deduction program from the district employees themselves. And our commitment in year one was to give all of that back. And so we were able to fund 21 different grants that touched 22 different schools and put $19,600 back. And those programs were projects capped at a maximum of $1,000. And they were everything from a ukulele club at George Elementary to a nuclear physics or nuclear chemistry unit at Har-ber High School. And everything in between you can think of. They were literally all over the board. We had 79 high quality requests for funds.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we could only fund 21 of those, and so it's kind of a sad day when you can fund 21 and disappoint 58. But that's what we had, and that's what we could do. And so our goal, obviously, is to grow that grant pool every year,
including this year, and you feel comfortable that it's going to be up significantly.
Yeah, I think we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of $45,000 to $47,000, give or take, in that grant pool. And the reason that number's kind of a floating, kind of a moving target is that we're constantly looking for corporate partners that want to be part of that. And so we won't really know until we're ready to actually award the grants exactly what we have to award out.
Mike, you work for one of the largest corporate partners in all of Northwest Arkansas. Harvest does a lot for a lot of people, as many of the banks do. But from the corporate standpoint, is this something that's appealing?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think that's one of the more rewarding things that we do at Harvest Bank and in the banking industry. The neatest experience I have every year is to go into Jones Elementary School at Christmas time and handing out presents, and it's just unbelievably heartwarming, and it's just so much fun to do that.
Yeah, very much fun, no doubt about it. Okay, Chris, so you've kicked off this public campaign, which is the first time you've done that.
Right. Up to now, you know, we're a 100% contribution-driven organization. We don't have an operating endowment that covers those costs and everything, or any of that. We raise every penny that we use for operating and that we use to make awards. And so this last November at our second annual Cornerstone event, we launched a public campaign. And our goal over the next 14 months is to raise $300,000. We're well on our way to that. Got a lot of work to do still. And so we've put out public solicitation letters, packets, and we'll do that a series of times through the year, and we look at different demographics. It's as much a learning tool for us as anything, so we can really see where our support is and where, you know, what groups we need to really work harder at getting engaged with the schools and the foundation. Got
off to a great start with a pretty significant gift.
We did. The Tyson Foods Foundation awarded us a $100,000 grant payable over the next 2 years. And the exciting part of that is that there will be part of that earmarked for operations. But a significant part of that will go directly into that teacher grant pool. And so that's a big piece of what's going to help us grow that grant pool over the next 2 years. And so it's our hope that we can leverage those funds to attract other corporate contributions, but to also show our district employees you know, what the support is outside of the school, and hopefully grow the contributions from within as well.
Mike, you love kids. You're always around them in athletics and other areas. Springdale School District is the second largest district in the state, and as an employer, it's the second largest employer in the city of Springdale. So there's a lot out there. You know, is this one of those things that's daunting because there's so many things so many needs?
I think it's a little daunting, but I think that's a great challenge to have. You know, when you're helping kids and when you're helping teachers, I think it can do nothing but help the whole community.
Chris, you used to be a teacher. What's it like when kids have needs, or you have need for a project and there's no funds available? Sometimes they use their own, and that's a stretch, isn't it?
You know, Rick, I've worked in lots of schools, and I've never, ever been in a school that had more money than it needed.
That's right.
And there's always, you know, there's always somebody that comes and says, I've got the coolest project, and I think we can really get these kids engaged to do this, or really involved and really excited, and I just need $500 to do it. And I got to tell you, it breaks my heart every time I had to say, you know, that's a great project, and we don't have any money to do it. You know, and you know, good luck. If we can help you, that's great. And a lot of times those teachers wind up taking that right out of their pocket.
Which is tough, no doubt about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what our focus is going to be, is the grants. That's something that we really believe in and think that we can grow. And like Chris said, we're looking for corporate sponsors that can match those grants, and we're really excited about that, and that's going to be a main focus for us.
Mike, as a business leader, you know that the public school system is really the backbone of the community, because a lot of your future employees are coming right out of the public schools.
Yeah, no question about that. Even talking about communities and economic development and how we're going to grow our communities, as schools are just so important for us.
Okay, Chris, so how can people get involved?
Well, you know, obviously, because we are contribution driven, that's what we're always looking for. Are folks that want to give their time or their treasure or their talent. You can always go out to our webpage. It's SPSEF. It's Springdale Public Schools Education Foundation.org. There's a lot of information there about what we do, about how people can get involved. You know, we can accept contributions in any variety of ways. Information's all on the webpage how to do that. Folks that don't necessarily want to go from that angle can always look at the scholarship opportunities. We're constantly looking at ways to grow the amount of scholarship money we have available to award to kids as well. So there's lots of ways, and don't think that, you know, folks that think that I don't have enough, you know, financially I can't contribute. It's your time. Get involved through Partners in Education, and we can get you connected to a school of your choice and get out and work with kids one-on-one that way.
And the scholarship opportunities are not limited to, say, a local school. This is if a kid's got an opportunity to go somewhere to school, you're wanting to help them.
That's right.
Yeah. Last year we were fortunate to be able to award $22,000 in scholarship funds to 17 of our most deserving graduates. Right now the foundation has about $450,000 of endowed scholarship assets under management. Our goal is to get that to $1 million over the next couple years. That will allow us to increase our payout to nearly $40,000 to $45,000 a year. And it's just so important for kids to be able to go to school and have just a little bit of money in their pocket. That confidence often makes the difference between a student being able to be successful or not.
Very good. Chris, Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, if you're not aware of the Springdale Educational Foundation, you are now. Maybe that's something that you think, wow, I can help there. All you have to do is give them a call or go to their website, as you just saw and heard from Chris. Chris is doing great work. You can help there. We hope you'll get involved. Next up, some high-intensity activity in Springdale. Get an inside look at what it's like to be involved in cheerleading.
The first time you make the decision to use smokeless tobacco, you're making the decision to have a potentially lifelong addiction with negative consequences. Is it worth it to have bad breath, yellow teeth, cancer? Smokeless tobacco has 3 times the nicotine compared to cigarettes, making it that much easier to get addicted as it is absorbed directly into the bloodstream. Is it comforting to know that you're putting something in your mouth that has 28 known chemicals to cause cancer? Just because it's smokeless does not mean it's harmless.
Competitive cheer is one of the most intense sports out there, and 2 of our district TV students took a great inside look at what it's like to be involved.
We're PCA Jewels.
It's fun and it's very hard work. It's fun, but it's hard too. Can't just think it's easy and just go out there and do it. You have to know that your team's counting on you and work hard. It's a lot of fun, and you literally have to work to the finish if you want to do cheerleading, because it's like a joy that you want to have.
It's just a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of pain to do it.
I've been doing it all my whole life.
I think that ever since I was little, I thought it'd be really cool to own my own mat so I could tumble all the time. I knew that I always wanted to work with kids. I didn't really know at the time at what capacity. One thing led to another, and careers kind of fall into place, or doors kind of open, and so that's kind of how it came about, really. When I was a little girl, I was totally in awe, or I guess fascinated by the skills that they could throw. So ever since I was little, I had my own little bitty LSU cheerleader uniform and just assumed I was going to be out there flipping and flopping all over the place, just like everybody else. When I first moved up here, I just assumed that I wasn't going to coach anymore. No one knew that I had any kind of background in this skill, in this sport, or any skill of teaching or coaching at all. What happened is that my mother was talking to this lady one day, and this lady was very anxious and nervous, and my mom's like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Oh, my oldest is trying out for the first time ever in junior high cheer, and she's nervous and freaking out." And my mom's like, "Well, my daughter can totally help with her." So I started helping her, and then I helped her friends, and then I helped some more of her friends. And I was teaching people literally in my parents' living room and in the backyard because we had needed space. That's exactly how it got started. One of the local junior highs contracted me in as their competition coach to take them to a national competition in Dallas. So basically the living room got too small, and I purchased 3 mats, rented out 1 room in a dance studio. Within the next year, I owned the entire dance studio, and realized that competitive cheer was going to be not an option in such a small building with very little ceiling space. So then we found a warehouse, bought more mats, and it kind of just snowballed into what you see now. I think their skill level is getting better throughout the years. When we first started, we only had 2 teams, and at the time, it was just beginner, intermediate, and advanced. They didn't even have the levels that we have right now. So as it's progressed, the rules have gotten more structured, and the levels have been able to help the kids progress in a safer manner. Since there's a little bit more rules and guidelines, they're able to see their stepping stones and know what they have to get to be able to be at the level that they want to be. Throughout the years, they have progressively gotten stronger. Jewels this year, when we first put the team together in August, we really kind of saw something different with them. I mean, Jewels have always been strong ever since the first year I had them, which was actually has been several years ago. This year, it was just something different. They seemed to all really work hard. They seemed to all really kind of click together. The chemistry was really good with them. Even though that the ages are so varied, I think that they have held their own in every single competition. They have only not placed first twice. The more that they motivate each other, the stronger and better that they perform.
I feel like they're my family, and like I've known them forever, but I've only known them a year. They're huge family to me because if there wasn't all of us together, then we wouldn't be able to do this.
They're a family, I mean, because I'm with them all the time.
I mean, like, it's like we've grown so much since like the beginning of the year when I didn't even know them, and now it's just like they're like my second family because I see them like I don't know, like 8 hours a week.
They're really funny and nice, and I love all of them. They're like all little sisters to me and became family. My team is like awesome. They're like my best friends.
The closer it gets to competition, the more they fight and the more they push. They work even harder. They just flip on. It's hard to explain. It's kind of funny. I always kind of joke with them and call them the glitter team because once that glitter comes on and that outfit comes on with all the sequins, they're hard to beat. They're the highest scoring juniors in the state of Arkansas. Everybody's going to hit, so it's just kind of who's going to hit the best and let the judges pick. Now they're probably getting sick of the music right now since they've heard it for literally 8 months straight, but they've really enjoyed it because once they go on stage, it looks fresh and it looks new. You would never know that they're tired of hearing the same music over and over again.
When I go to competitions, I'm happy, excited, nervous, and I just hope we at least get in the top 3. I feel excited but nervous, but once I'm on stage, I know we can do it and we can hit everything.
Well, I'm always excited, but like whenever we're about to go on stage, I'm always nervous. Whenever we get on stage, I feel all the energy from the crowd and I feel really good and just hope that we can hit everything and have a good time.
Excited, tired, overwhelmed, tired.
I'm always a little overwhelmed because you never know if you're going to hit all the time, so it's just kind of, you're always nervous about like whether you're going to hit your stunts and you're tumbling. You're like, I don't want to let my team down.
It's almost $500 in track, so it's $500 a team for their music for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So we try to fundraise as much as we can and break it up between the girls on the squad, so it's a lot easier to pay for it that way. My biggest thing is that I know that here lately, in the last few years, they're trying really hard to have the respect as other sports athletes. I think if people would just get past the costume appeal that we have on stage, they would realize that these kids are true athletes, boys and girls alike, because the discipline that it takes to produce the skills that these kids are producing. I mean, at such a young age, these kids are giving up anywhere from 6 to 10 hours a week. And to be that young, producing that kind of elite skills and being able to be nationally ranked with only 1 year under their belt or 8 months under their belt, I mean, that takes some really skilled, disciplined athletes to be able to produce that. So hopefully it will continue to get a little bit more respect as a true sport. That's what's most important to us, is that they go out there and they come off the floor knowing that they hit the best they could and be proud of them, because we always say it's not about the plastic, it's not about the placement, it's about how they felt inside of how they felt, because unfortunately we can't control what the judge's opinion is. If we fall, yes, we get that deduction ourselves, but if we hit really well, then it's totally up to if they like the routine or not.
I like winning a lot, and I also like the fact that like me and my team are working together and that I can have more friendships with the people on my team. I like to go to all the competitions and win all the jackets. We get to like tumble and do stunts and just sometimes play around. I'm around my friends and I can just kind of hang out with them. Being with my teammates and practicing. It's really fun to just go on stage and feel all the people screaming for you. Stunts and tumbling.
When you hit your routine and you hit it like flawlessly, and then you know that you're gonna win, and then you hit that final pose, and it's just like the most amazing feeling in the world.
I really like the teamwork that is involved in the whole part, and you get to meet and know so many great people. And it's just a really fun experience.
My favorite part about cheerleading is my team and us working together and hitting the routine.
My favorite part about being on the cheer team is you can just be active and have fun and meet new people.
Cheer is amazing. You should join it. You really should.
Cheerleading is really fun, and it's became like a big part of my life, and I'm very glad to have a team like this.
Cheerleading is awesome because you get to be with your best friends all the time.
Cheer is awesome! We love you, Coach!
It's time to change the rules. We're PCA Jewels.
The battle is yours. Everything that I face, I win. I got victory. I can take you where you're never, and I'm in there for a naked. I'll make you lose your mind.
Jewels. We want it all.
And nothing's gonna hold me back. I'm gonna take what I want.
life that we live in.
Sometimes I get a feeling, feeling, yeah.
PCA, yeah, that's right. Jewels are back, and this is our night. Jewels.
Spotlight, tear it up like we got one night. 'Cause tomorrow morning we'll be leaving. So let's keep it rocking till daylight. Gotta live like we got one night, one night, one night. Gotta live like we got one night, one night, one night. She's so starter in my automatic car. She make me wanna go harder, and she always lift the bar. But she keep that spotlight glowing, cause she is a superstar. Everybody notice this girl when she step up in the place where the hair is far. The way she cranks it up, the way she cranks it up, the way she cranks it up, the way she cranks it up.
It's time to change the rule. We're PCA Jewels.
The battle is yours. Everything that I face, I win. I got victory.
Ashley Duckworth and Sarah Smith, two excellent students in Trent Jones' program, put that together. We hope you enjoyed it. We know you're going to enjoy what's next, an interview with Superintendent Dr. Jim Rollins.
It felt like the world was turning too fast and I couldn't keep up.
I secluded myself from everything I loved.
I closed myself off from all my friends and I stopped eating.
I felt like I wasn't very important to the world.
I thought I was all alone.
There was this particular day that I woke up and I just knew I couldn't do it anymore and that life was over for me.
I used art as an outlet.
The dependence of my siblings.
The love of good friends.
It's a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Be strong because you never know who you're inspiring.
You are not alone. You're not alone.
There is
hope.
It's been a couple of weeks since we last aired a program, and you saw that first interview with Dr. Jim Rollins. Here's part two. You're going to enjoy hearing from the Springdale Superintendent. Welcome to our administrative section of the program, and for the second consecutive week, we've got our Superintendent, Dr. Jim Rollins, here to visit with us. And Dr. Rollins, we talked about some partnership programs last week on the program. One we didn't talk about that we sure need to is Breakfast in the Classroom. That has launched absolutely magnificently in 5 schools and maybe about to go to some others.
Rick, that is so very true. It's the partnerships that come forward on all fronts that help us expand our program and improve it almost daily. The Breakfast in the Classroom program is a major initiative that we're just kind of getting off the ground. We put it in place in the last few months in 5 of our schools, and I'm extremely proud of the way that's worked. Ms. Carol Godfrey and her staff, working in partnership with our elementary school principals, have really done an exceptional job. The Walmart Corporation helps us on so many fronts, but they have been our lead sponsor in this initiative. And we know full well if kids are healthy, if they're well fed, if you will, if they're not hungry, then they can focus on the learning. And we all understand that. That's what this partnership is all about, to make sure our kids are healthy and have appropriate nutrition. And if they do, we expect their learning to improve. And as we've worked in the pilot initiative, we've seen some wonderful trends already. Student attendance has improved. Kids get to school on time. Kids do seem to be without question, more focused on the learning. And you can just imagine if kids are hungry, that detracts from all of those conditions that are really absolutely necessary for kids to learn at the highest level. So our hope is that we can expand this program in the months ahead to each of our elementary schools. And again, I can't say thank you enough to the Walmart Corporation for their partnership, because they have just been phenomenal in making this happen.
What the Walmart in the Classroom does is the meal is provided for every student, not just those who qualify for free and reduced lunch, and they actually take the breakfast into the classroom, eat it with their teacher. So it's not only the benefit of nutrition, but there's also some nice camaraderie that's not just a teaching and receiving instruction, it's the teacher interacting with the kids.
Well, that's so very true. It's almost like a home setting, a family having a meal together, and that is very special. Relationships are improved. We really get ready for school all together at a designated time, and the way this program has been launched has been phenomenal. Again, I thank our staff and I thank our Walmart partners for making this happen.
One of the things going on in the district, it's going to be a couple more months away, is you've got some big changes in your administrative staff. Now, you've had this staff together for a long time. You've got 2 long-time employees who are retiring. I'm sure you're sad about that, but excited about the 2 who are coming.
Well, first of all, I am so deeply appreciative of the work that Mr. Hartzell Jones, our Deputy Superintendent, has done throughout his career. One of the most distinguished administrators I've ever known. He brings a perspective to schooling that just helps our school district get better on all fronts. I believe Mr. Jones's career spanned 44 years and 41 years in the Springdale school system. So what a contribution he's made. But he understood that he was at the point in his career when retirement was necessary. And so we wish him the best, and he's played a major role in helping us find a replacement for him. And we're very fortunate to bring Megan Wotonsky. Megan is currently the superintendent of schools in the Elkins School District. A great young administrator, just unlimited potential, and frankly has played an enormous role in her school and currently at the state level. She's currently the rising president for the state's Rural Education Association. So you can see the respect that she's earned already as a young administrator in our state. The second retiree, Dr. Don Love, has served our district for the past 20 years, 10 years as principal here at Springdale High School, and then 10 years leading the secondary instruction program at the district. Dr. Love is one of the most highly respected and frankly loved administrators in our district. So we're sure gonna miss him, and he too has played a vital role in helping us select just the right person to move into his shoes upon his retirement. Ms. Kim Garrett, who's currently the principal at Bentonville High School, our neighbor to the north, will be joining us as well. So you're right, Rick. 2 retirees whom we'll miss them both immensely, and 2 young administrators to come in and formulate our team for the future.
We can talk about a lot of other things in the Springdale School District, and there are stories every day, and I usually have the privilege of telling a lot of those stories. But right now also is a pivotal time for education in the state of Arkansas. Every week you're down in Little Rock talking to legislators, having meetings. Why don't you inform our public of some of the thought processes that are being involved in legislation right now, and your thought process on that?
Well, let me really invite and encourage our parents to be as studied about the legislative proposals as you can be. And I realize that sometimes those decisions seem like they're a great distance away. But as we work with our parent leaders, our PTAs, City Council PTA, we encourage them just like I'm encouraging you. It's pretty easy, really, with the technology that's available today to follow the work of our legislature. And then, of course, a conversation with local legislators is important as well, but there are so many change initiatives that are being considered. And I would just really encourage participation and being a learner yourself, and then feel the freedom that is absolutely yours to converse with our legislators and let them know your position on various acts that are coming forward.
Do you find most of the legislatures you talk to, are they receptive to hearing from the public?
I think they certainly are. They understand this is a representative process, and my hope would be that they would listen to the concerns of each and every patron of our district. You know, we have 21,000 kids in our district, really from every imaginable background. And legislation will come forward that will touch and affect each of us. Yes, I think our legislators will listen and frankly are hungry to hear from our parents.
I would be remiss if I didn't say something about this before we close the program. We're in the Bulldog TV studios right now. We normally tape in the district TV studios, and Har-ber has a TV studio as well. Dr. Rollins, there's a film festival in Seattle that draws over 10,000 people every year. They have over 700 entries on films to be shown at that festival, and they're considered winners when they get there. Only 200 were won, and 5 of them were from the Springdale School District. I think even as we are sitting here in a Springdale TV studio, we should say something about the TV production at both schools and district-wide.
Well, as always, I like to thank these young people that are helping make this program possible today. But the TV Productions program is a program that prepares kids for careers in television, and we have placed many students in that career pathway. Excellence obviously comes forward at every turn in these programs, and to see our young people compete and compete at the highest level and be recognized as among the best in the nation speaks volumes about the quality of the young people in this program and to the work that our teachers are doing leading it. So congratulations to all concerned.
And they would thank Dr. Rollins for starting this program in the first place. It's always great to hear from Dr. Jim Rollins. We hope you've enjoyed the program, because remember, if it's happening now, it's Springdale Today.